Once upon a time, a long time ago, there was a big bang. And then nothing happened for around 13 billion years. But then, one day, a bunch of dirt that was floating around in space came together to form a giant ball of dirt. And we called this ball of dirt a planet, and then we called it Earth. Now, on this planet, it came to be, there were a bunch of things called organisms, living organisms. We're not sure exactly how they got there, but they got there. And they were there were a whole bunch of different kinds of them. There were protists, and there were fungi, and there were plants. But very interestingly, there were animals. Now these animals were very wide and varied, and they ranged from the birds, to the bees, to the fish, to the coelacanths, to the plesiosaurs. There were a lot of them. But in any case, there were animals, and they lived on this planet. Then, one day, by a very strange, highly improbable occurrence, a freak occurrence of nature, it came to be that one of these animal species ended up developing several very highly valuable physical apparatus. Now, with these apparatus, they were able to develop even more and eliminate many of the problems that were facing every other animal on the planet. They were able to do things like escape predation from other animals, and they were able to solve the problem of finding food, and so it would seem that these animals, with their incredibly improbable physical apparatus, were able to perfect life. So it may seem, and that's actually what happened. But then, one day, a bunch of assholes decided to get together and call themselves philosophers. Now, these philosophers weren't content with hunting and protecting themselves from wild animals, and not hunting and not protecting themselves from wild animals, which is pretty much what everyone was doing at that time. But instead, what they decided to do was get together and ask a bunch of questions. Why does this happen? Why does that happen? Why are we here? What are we doing here? What is the meaning of life? And so, these questions became so prevalent in everyone's head that everyone started to ask them. Everyone started questioning everything they did, and everyone started to want to understand more about it, and so it got to the point that everybody was asking, so they finally asked what was the answer. And the philosophers didn't know, they were just bored, they decided to ask this, so everybody had all these questions in their head. It's like, what are we after? And then people come up with ideas like we're after happiness, we're after this, we're after that, but nobody really knows any major solution to the question. There probably isn't one. But in any case, everybody got this into their heads, and it went so prevalently into their heads that it drove them crazy. Yes. So now you have a bunch of these animals called humans that are wandering around. They have these ideas stuck in their head. They've escaped many of the problems, most of the problems, almost all of the problems present in the natural world, but they're still not happy because they can't figure out the answer to many of the deep metaphysical problems of life. How they're problems, I don't know. But that is the story of history. Actually, it's not really about history at all, but that is the history of humans. Not a very complete history, but you get the picture. Okay, good day.